On
Today on the Extreme Collection, we are looking at the favorite part of my collection. That's right, we are looking at the X-Men wall right behind me. This is another mini tour. Today we're just focusing on these X-Men pieces. These are all 1/4 scale X-Men statues. Now if you watch the bigger tour, this piece right here, you got an overview, but today we're going to look at every single piece in individual detail. Let's check it out. To give back to you guys, the Extreme Channel is giving away this giant Goro statue from PCS for our 20,000 sub giveaway. If you want to know how to win this, I'll tell you a little bit later in this video. So I've removed the paneling on these cases. These are called Moji cases. A link for those is in the description below, a link to a video that I did about these. And then also any of the lighting, like the overhead lighting, the link is also in the description below. So let's go ahead and check this out. We have two different things going on this wall, because we always have a few different things going on. First is some of these are what we call license pieces. So they are made by a company that holds the license for that character and it's approved by Marvel. So for example, this X-23 statue is made by Sideshow Collectibles, and we'll look at that closer. The other thing that we have going on here is what we call custom statues, which is probably the majority of this. These are private unlicensed commissions. They made usually less than 100, usually around 50, and they're sold out, they're hard to get. In fact, I think almost the entire top row is but one. Now these are scaled, so they've taken a real life version of, they've shrunk it down. These are all either 1/4 scale, so 4 times smaller than the real life version, or a little bit bigger than that, somewhere in between 1/4 and 1/3 scale. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look starting at the bottom here, or the side. So this is what I call the Phoenix Force line. So Phoenix Force is a different saga. I've actually done a video on it you can actually check out. But in the back we have by XM Studios, this is their Dark Phoenix / Jean Grey statue. It's an amazing piece on so many different levels. So XM Studios is the manufacturer. It is a licensed piece, but surrounding her are some unlicensed pieces, these customs. This is the Phoenix 5, or the Phoenix Force, starting off with the Submariner, Namor, however you want to call it. Now these all have matching bases, which is pretty cool, matching sub bases down here. Awesome water effect on this guy. He has some fire coming out of him, kind of that Phoenix Force. Then you have Colossus, the Phoenix Force version of him. This is kind of a transformation torso. As you saw down here, he has a non-transformation torso. And then again, matching base, this one has fire instead of water. And this is actually the prototype. So these haven't been released yet on this particular Colossus. I think they come out very soon here. Then down below, 3 more pieces from this collection. Again, these are all custom. So first is the Cyclops from the Phoenix Force saga. And he has an awesome fire hydrant on the base. And most of these have different portrait options, so you can actually switch them out. Or like Magic back here, you can actually switch out her sword for a non-fiery sword. She kind of has this Final Fantasy sword going on fire there. And then Emma Frost, the Phoenix Force version. These two just have plain bases. Now right in front of this case, on the floor essentially, we have another custom piece. This is these are all 1/4 scale. This is a fastball special with a custom base, because the regular base was too huge. Now this one, it's just incredibly difficult to display. It's a nice statue, it's done well. And it came in 3 giant boxes, so I still own it because it'd be incredibly difficult to sell. Now most of these statues are generally around anywhere from $800 to $1,500 retail. The custom ones especially, many of those sell for much more, and even some of the licensed ones, to be honest with you. So let's dive now into the top shelf. So this is my X-Men vs. Sentinel line. These are all giant, elaborate pieces, as you see, and all some of my favorites in my collection. So starting with Iceman right here. One of the most dynamic statues you will ever see. Has his ice blast coming out. and he is freezing a giant sentinel hand. What I really like about these ones up top here is I think they're scaled very well. You know, when you're thinking about an actual sentinel, and here is an amazing one, very dynamic, Cyclops busting through. Now also with these statues, some of the detail is just unbelievable. And even look at the rocks, the charred rocks on the base here. And the detail in Scott Summers, or his optic blast. Now behind him we have this giant rogue tearing apart a sentinel head. Gonna show you on that. So many things going on inside here. The inner workings of the sentinel, she's ripped in half. And then the detail on her is awesome. Now she, I think, came with 7 different portraits. And we have a Wolverine right here. A little bit different version of a sentinel head. A little more square than the round. A little bit of a different art direction on this. And this Wolverine, raged eyes. And a Banshee ripping through a sentinel chest. Or sorry, head. Just awesome. The hole actually goes all the way through. Now you see this empty spot right here. This is for this piece that I have coming in. Cannot wait to add this guy. Here's another, those are all customs. So here's another custom, Sabretooth. Here we kind of got the Brotherhood going on. This is one of my favorite pieces in my collection. Now this one was came originally as what we call a kit, so it was unpainted. You had to find a master painter. I used a few different ones, including my wife, who's not a master painter, but this was done by a master painter, S7 Customs. You can check them out on Facebook. Awesome job. Right here we have a little Ian McClellan hand sketch by one of the Extreme Channel viewer supporters, Ian H. Behind him by XM Studios, so this is licensed. And I'm actually waiting for a custom Omega Red that will take the place of this guy, most likely. I'm going to do a comparison video between the two. Then we have a giant Magneto versus Sentinel hand. In this one, there's so much amazing stuff going on. This is one of the very first videos I did on YouTube, but you can see him using his powers. All the guns are up there. You have Wolverine's body, Cerebro, Professor X's wheelchair. The hand is just completely torn up. And then Magneto, one of the best Magnetos I've ever seen. And then behind him, got a piece that doesn't have a lot of love, but I love it. There's only 15 of these in the world. This is a modern Juggernaut. Again, only came as a kit. A lot of people don't like this because they reference the movie X3, which I don't think it was based off that, even though it has striking similarities. But the paint and sculpt and the pose of this is just awesome. I got a little CGC 9.8 Magneto cover right there. Now sticking with the Brotherhood, moving down, we have 2 licensed pieces. So first, these are 1/4 scale by Sideshow Collectibles. We have Mystique, exclusive. I used to own the one made by XM Studios. I've actually done a comparison video on that you can check out. And then Sabretooth, being one of my favorite villains. I have another one of him. This is made by XM Studios. This is one of those pieces I thought was a dark horse. I loved it a lot better than I thought I would. Now down here we have Juggernaut being pulled through the floor by Kitty Pryde, and I'll explain that in a second. So Sideshow Collectibles made this Juggernaut that I was able to pick up, believe it or not, a little less than retail. I got the exclusive version, but I don't really have a good place to display him. And he came with the exclusive, this half body of Kitty Pryde right here. So I thought it would be kind of a cool diorama to do this. Eventually I'm going to redo this display and I'll have room for him, and he's actually down here right now with his arms and head torn off. So let's hit some kind of random stuff and then we'll come back up to the top. First, this is kind of my X-Force display down here. We'll start with this custom diorama. So Deadpool, this is hand sculpted and professionally painted by the sculptor's wife, actually. This is a Deadpool where he kills a whole bunch of ninjas. One of my bloodiest statues, even though you're going to see a much bloodier one in a second. Back behind him is XM Studios Cable with some custom accessories. Kind of wish he had an X-Force outfit on, but I think he still falls in the theme very well. Then by Sideshow Collectibles, we have their X-Force variant Deadpool premium format. Now it's very crowded in here because I gotta figure out which of these two X-Force Wolverines I'm gonna keep. I've done a comparison video on them as well. So almost all of these I've done reviews on. You can check those out by searching the channel. But the detail on some of these is just unbelievable. So as you see, this Wolverine's a little bit bigger. That's what we talked about scale earlier. This is, 1 to 3.5 really, instead of 1 to 4. And this might be my bloodiest statue. This Wolverine right here. Let me just look at some of the cuts and detail on him. But he's killed 4 ninjas below, who just have their guts spilling out everywhere. And then speaking of Wolverine, we kind of have an evolution of Wolverine back here. And I have another Weapon X Wolverine en route right now, so we'll compare that with this first one, but let's start with kind of the timeline. So in the back we have probably my favorite Wolverine statue, even though he's not traditional. This is a custom Soldier Logan. So what's great about this is it only came as a kit as well, so I'd have it professionally painted. S7 Customs did this one too, and it is just immaculate. But on the timeline, this could be Vietnam or World War II. I think it's more Vietnam era. He has his bone claws, and then we kind of move up the next step in Wolverine's life when he became Weapon X and had the adamantium installed. This is made by XM Studios. This is one of the first statues that had that moist resin effect that really looks like water. It's just an amazing piece in my opinion. It'll be interesting to see if that custom Weapon X I have coming in beats it. Then Wolverine went over to Japan for a while to become a samurai. That's what this next piece is. Also came only as a kit. This one was $4,000 when it was all said and done with shipping and painting, but I think you can see why. Multiple torsos, multiple switch outs. It actually has an amazing tattoo on the back that I'm not even displaying. Now we are missing his brown costume. I used to own the XM Studios ones, or XM Studio one, but here we have, next step in evolution, is the Sideshow Premium format. Very popular piece. I think it's a great little Wolverine. I think he's a little bit underscaled. I know the Sentinel hand is, but it's still nice. And then the last one I have when he's retired. He's lost his adamantium again. And of course this one does have switch outs. He's running with wolves. Kind of your old man Logan here. And then we have just one of my favorite covers back there with Wolverine. But the details on these, the way they're able to get the paint and make, polystone fur almost look like real fur, or even just the veins or the hair on his arms, is amazing. So then we'll move back up to the ladies. First one we're going to look at is a custom Jubilee. So she is on top of a sentinel foot, which I like because it's different. Kind of the future, no mutants. She has 3 different portraits. I like this one with the bubble gum. It's kind of the playful Jubilee. Shooting out her fireworks, her coat flowing in the wind. I'm a big fan of this piece. I think a lot of people never liked it. They only made 40 or 50 of them. Followed by Psylocke. Also destroying a sentinel, giant sentinel hand. She just used her power to cut through. You can see it on the fingers. You can see where it's torn up right here. And she is doing this catwalk, this sexy, sultry catwalk. Awesome, awesome piece. You can probably see why these are so many of my favorites here. Then here's that X23 exclusive made by Sideshow. So this is actually meant to pair with the Wolverine down here. So you see similar sentinel hand. Great action dynamic pose for her. She's jumping. Fix that cord on the next one. Then the last 4 pieces we have in the X-Men collection, right over here. So let's start with XM Studios made this Gambit. That cord is driving me nuts right there. Now I love this piece because it doesn't take up much room. And they just did an awesome job on the paint and sculpt. He's in the middle of throwing his cards, coat floating in the wind. Then we have a Beast vs. Sentinel. So this is a custom piece right here, and made by a different group than the other hands you were looking at, hence the color of the Sentinel hand, but still awesome. I used to own 2 or 3 other pieces from this group, Cyclops, Rogue, but I ended up selling those. But I think this piece is amazing. I like the rawness of him. XM Studios Storm, highly sought after piece because it's amazing. Her base is a whirlwind or a tornado. I have some plastic lightning bolts I've added. And she has 2 different torsos, so the other one she's actually screaming up in the air. I don't think it fits well inside of a display, so I use this pose. And then lastly, we have a custom Nightcrawler. Cathedral behind him, you can see his BAMP. He's in the middle of teleportation, jumping. I think this one had 4 different portrait switch outs. Another favorite piece. If I had to get rid of collecting and just keep like one line, this would be it right here for sure, which may be the case someday. To win this Goro statue, first thing you got to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've actually subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification. Second thing is leave a comment below, and make sure it's a witty, entertaining, or funny comment. Because when we hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to pick a random video, and the comment that has the most likes on it will be the winner of this Goro statue. So make sure your comment is entertaining to others and entertaining to Mr. X. Because if I like it, I'm actually going to pin it to the tops to help you get more likes. So that's it, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to check out some of these other mini room tours. I wish the lighting could be better here. Also, let me know what you think by posting a comment below, and make sure to hit a like on this video because it helps the channel substantially. We have some of those big giveaways coming up, and I drop content at least every other day, if not more often. So really appreciate you watching. Talk to you soon. Take care.